Hello everyone, so I decided to make a Art of Conquest video on Dwarven army as there's not much video for guides on Dwarven armies out there as most of it are just human army videos. So let me get started. For research, you will want to focus mainly on blasters and mech suits only. Miners and riflemen I wouldn't really recommend researching much on them as they are mainly for garrison usage. So just research the first 4 levels will do. For riflemen, in early game bossing and PvP they are a bit useful, but in late game I don't really see them worth investing on and training on after a while. Now, for blasters, it is pretty much to just research everything as soon as possible or when you have enough resources, as most of their skills are pretty important. But if you are really short of resources to research all of them, you can focus on a few first, especially the level 6 skill, which reduces ammo for fire off. When you have enough points to train the level 8 skill, I would recommend training it as soon as possible as well, as brutal efficiency reduces the rare resource needed to train them, as at higher levels, blasters cost a lot more to train. Now for mech suits is the second most important to focus researching on as well. I so far have not really have enough resources to focus on them yet cause I'm mainly focusing on blasters for now. But as you can see, I max brutal efficiency as well for mech suits cause they can't really be hospitalized and retraining them is costly when you do PvP with people. So maxing is pretty important. For the other skills, I'm pretty sure most people can just max the first 4 skills without any trouble or difficulties. For tanks, I guess they are kind of useful, but in my opinion the AI for tanks aren't really that great. I wish they actually move forward into their gunning range so that they can be more efficient in damaging, as relying on their cannon alone is too slow in my opinion and not as effective. But they are useful at some point, which I'll talk about later. You can just train them a bit, and if you have extra resources that you don't mind wasting on tanks, yeah, you can just throw a bit on them. For siege, I'm not going to talk about it unless you are playing Dwarven army mainly for siege only. Then you can just invest all on siege. For Dwarven buildings, I'm not really going to talk much about them, just focus mainly on your research building, recruitment building, hospital, war, and your blaster and mech buildings. The rest you just up them accordingly as long as you have enough resources or when you need prosperity to up your stronghold. But I don't recommend upping your factories and siege that early as they are pretty costly to level up. The wood required for them is usually 2 to 3 times more than your other buildings. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the heroes. The heroes I would recommend getting the 990 package of Jacques if you don't mind spending and you like the game a lot, as he's pretty worth it as he is a very powerful unit to get and most of his abilities complement the mech army very well. He himself is like a blaster unit in terms of damage and his skill, the machine gun version I would say. And the skills to max is pretty obvious, which is ammo capacity of himself and his mech expert skill. As you can notice, my mech expert has a level increased by 1. That's because it's from the item called Mechanical Core, which is obtainable from the Void, but it depends on your luck and is in the Void stage around the desert area if I'm not wrong. For the other items, I would recommend using the set, which is also from the Void, which is the Explorer set, but it's not really that easy to get as well. I haven't got the armor as well. The rocket fitting, you can get it from the Royal Archive, and I recommend crafting it to Flawless for the bonus might. For those who don't know, Flawless equipment is when you craft an item a certain amount of time and it turns into a flawless item. It depends on chance, usually it takes 5 to 6 tries for me, so it heavily depends on luck. Maybe it takes you 1 try. And the other important item is Herculean Claymore. I feel you should give all your heroes this item, as it gives energy limit +5, and crafting it to flawless is also recommended. As for your ability cards that you get in the game, I recommend throwing all your might cards into Jacques and no one else, cause he's the only one that benefits the most from might and can help you a lot in the battlefield with his high might. For stamina, I recommend throwing all of it to him as well, as it increases his ammo capacity. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Jacques. For Gafka, I wouldn't really recommend getting him as your second hero, and he's a third hero I got. No, he's a second hero I got. I accidentally got him as a second hero and bought Jacques on a quite costly price. But as for Gafka, his skills are not really that useful at all. His first two skills aren't really impactful in the game. Repairman is useful, I guess, but it gives HP only, no increase in damage compared to Jacques. Temporary repair is useful to invest in, because in the next patch after this video, I think, after maybe tomorrow, after I release this video, they will buff it and it will increase the amount of HP recover from temporary repair greatly. Now for Grims, he is very important as well, and you should consider throwing ability cards to him. You should split accordingly, half to Grims, half to Jacques, and try to max out ammo wagon first. Reload ammunition is also pretty important, but it costs around 9 ability points, which will take quite a while to get. And his items, I mainly just use command items. Other than that, you don't really need to much farm his might or stamina at all. And you just give him Herculean Claymore as usual. Flawless extended magazine, which is actually useless. I actually thought there would be extra stats on it, but nope. It just increases the ammo wagon skill, which is very useful, and I recommend crafting it. It is obtainable from the Royal Archives as well. The other item to get is Underworld Banner, increase siege mastery, but it's not really that important. You can just get it when you feel like it, or when you do quests, sometimes you can obtain it. From the blacksmith you can buy it as well, but I don't really recommend. Maybe the shop will appear sometimes on sales, like 50% off. You can use some of the free Linari you obtained or accumulated to get it, but I just think you should just get it from the quest. And other than that, there's nothing much else for him to get, and mainly just give him more command items. Now as for the formation of Dwarven armies, I would recommend 4 battle mechs in front to defend your blasters, and 2 tanks, which I said just now they have a bit of use, as they can stop Templar charge and prevent them from taking out your mechs quickly, as they do very massive damage, and 2 to 3 squads can pretty much take out one of your mech squads and leave your blasters open. The setup I use is pretty standard, as everybody just use it as well, which is mechs front line, blasters back line. For heroes, I recommend using the Dwarven Commander, 2 of it. If you didn't buy any Dwarven Commanders, then you can just stick with using Virion, Avalon, and Ever. Ever is pretty useful in late game, as her Blizzard works very well against human army archers. So if you don't have the 2 extra Dwarven army commanders, you can consider using Gun or Vega for replacement. And Rufio, I don't recommend using him at all. He's pretty much useless and just dies instantly and giving enemy high morale. Same as Avalon as well, but unless you have no choice, you can use Avalon. Other than that, I'm not going to talk much about the formation, as I'll just make a second video if I can, when I can enter the void and get better clips about battling. But for now, that's all for my videos. Thank you for watching. Bye.